Welcome to Dublin and the Great Island Run. 8,000 starters with 2 elite races over 10 kilometres around the picturesque Phoenix Park in the heart of the city. For the men, Korir is the youngest reigning World Cross Country champion. First, let's meet the elite women. Should be a good race, this one. First up, Aguilar, of course, from Spain. 5th in the World Championship Marathon last year. So she's in good form at the moment. Well, Helen Clitheroe coming up next. She's now 40 and holds the British national 3,000-metre steeplechase record. Has run from 1,500 metres to the longer distances now. Pretty efficient on the road still. And then Duarte, the European cross-country champion, the reigning champion, 16th in the World Cross-Country Championships last year. She's in the field as well. And, of course, local heroine, Fionnuala Britton of Ireland from the Wicklow Kilcool Athletics Club. A lot of home support. You can see how windy it is here. The wind has got up. It's very, very blustery indeed. The sun's out, but it'll be quite a challenge, this, with the wind, I would think. 10 kilometres ahead then. And it'll be quite a challenging course as well. I'll have a look at that in a moment. But big field here. This is the elite field, of course. There are 8,000, as I said, overall, who will embark on the 10,000-metre journey. And it's the All-Ireland Women's Championship as well included in this race. So there's an awful lot to go for, not just the elite race itself. Well, the course itself starts in Chesterfield Avenue, turns right after a kilometre, heads back towards the Phoenix Monument here, past the Papal Cross, and heading down towards halfway. At halfway, the course starts to head back around the bottom end of the park towards the Furry Glen. There it is on the left, and then the finish in Furs Road. So that's it. And of course, well, look at this. There's Clitheroe, Duarte, Britton, Aguilar, Lewandowska, the Pole, and Martin are all out there in that leading group. And these athletes have got away from the rest of the field. And it's pretty early on to do that. Right at the back is Diana Martin of Spain, in the white top and the blue shorts, but leading is Clitheroe. Won the Manchester 10 kilometres on the 9th of March this year. 32:49 her time there, but times, of course, do depend on the conditions and on the course itself and the undulations that they find. But the rest of the field have dropped off by a significant margin in this early stage. At 1 kilometre, look at that. And you can tell how windy it is from that marker. Well, Duarte, of course, as I said, the reigning European cross-country champion, really going wonderfully well. She's a steeplechaser, of course, ran in the steeplechase for France in the Beijing Olympic Games, and of course didn't get through the heats there. 15th in the World Championships in the steeplechase in Berlin in 2009, but she's turned around to 5,000 and 10,000 meters now, and she's heading there, and behind her Duarte, or rather the Aguilar behind Duarte, and alongside her is Lewandowska. Set a personal best in the United States in March over 10K at 32:40, so she's very much improved thus far this season. I understand that she's using this. There she is with a pink vest, the pole. I understand she's using this as a preparation for the Warsaw Marathon very shortly. It's in her hometown of Warsaw. And look how well they're spread out now behind the elite race. Clitheroe quite happy to take this on. And Aguilar, 5th in the World Championship Marathon last year, so she's very much stronger. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is Lewandowska. Well, we didn't introduce her at the start because an outsider considered, but my goodness me, is this significant? She really is piling it on now. Duarte, well, there's a gap of about 4 or 5 meters opened up, and if they come back to her, then it may not be as significant as I think it may be. Look at this, her leg speed's really improved, and it wasn't even subtle, it was powerful. She really went for it. And really, at the moment, Duarte's in 2nd place, Aguilar in 3rd. And look at Fionnuala Britton right at the back of that group. She's leading the 2nd group ahead of Diana Martin of Spain. Well, Britton not going to challenge this, I don't think, and she is going away. This is an astonishing piece of running. I just wonder for a moment whether we're going to have a surprise in this race. We'll see. Good start. Well, I mean, must be feeling very, very confident on the back of that run. She's in America, but she's looking for that Warsaw Marathon. I said that just a few moments ago, and she wants to qualify for the European Championships as they go through 3 kilometers. It's early to get underway like this, with just under 7 to go. I mean, that is quite something. She's ahead of those with finer pedigrees, I have to say, and has she gone too soon is the question that most will be asking. She was 7th in the Frankfurt Marathon in October in 2012. She's got 2:28, so she's a useful marathon runner and obviously can handle the distance. And all of a sudden, the others are having to chase, and Helen Clitheroe now dropping back into 4th place. Well, meanwhile, back at the start, the men preparing to get underway ahead of the rest of the field. Well, Javier Guerra of Spain, 15th in the World Championship Marathon in Moscow in 2013. So he's another man who can pile in the marathon miles. And Mike Shelley of Australia, he was in the Commonwealth Games. We saw him at the last Commonwealth Games in 2010. He got the silver medal there. Well, you could hear the announcer in the background giving Andy Vernon a really big build-up there. 5th in the Antrim International Cross Country on the 4th of January here, behind Japheth Korir of Kenya, who's coming up now to be introduced. What a youngster, 20 years old, the youngest ever World Cross Country champion. He really is quite something. He's not quite... get your foot back. It makes a lot of difference, doesn't it, over 10K? The starter's marksman just saying, you don't want any advantage here. But the big field of 8,000 or so getting underway now. Personal stopwatches being clicked, you can see that. They've got those little microchips on them as well to give them the official times at the end. But there are club athletes, those who are going into this venture for the very first time. Charities being run for. There's an awful lot on this. And, of course, look at this. A Kenyan, a young Kenyan, already at the top of this field in the early stages as they get underway. Andy Vernon, well, I saw him just 2 or 3 weeks ago in the World Indoor Championships in Sopot. He had a fantastic heat in the 3,000 meters. He set a personal best in that, and of 7:45.49. He just couldn't reproduce that in the final. He finished in 11th in the end. But I tell you what, it was very impressive in that indoor arena. He's come back onto the roads now. He missed the country. Shelley, of course, Mike Shelley, was 16th in the Olympic Marathon in London, although his personal best was some time ago. But look at this, back to the women, 4 kilometers, just relaxing the arms. I can't believe this. Lewandowska has really taken on a field with a finer pedigree, as I've said before, and she's really starting to motor. She really does look as though she's enjoying this, and it's a big gap. I think they're holding on to that gap at the moment, though. I just wonder whether with just under 6 kilometers to go, whether she's gone off too quickly. This downhill part, though, this is the part where really when you start to work uphill, you've really got to start to work downhill as well. Don't relax. Well, Duarte and Aguilar are 2 very, very talented athletes. Now, what must they be thinking? It is early in the race, and I bet you they're thinking, hang on a minute, we've not seen this Polish athlete run away from fields like this before, and I just wonder whether she's gone too early. We'll see whether they can make this back. I can see in the background Helen Clitheroe behind her, and Fionnuala Britton and Diana Martin behind those. There's the rest of the Irish Championship runners coming through 3 kilometers, as you can see. It is a lovely, lovely day here, but it is windy, and I just wonder whether that'll have its effect on time. But it's a very good race. Korir's there, Vernon on the right, Shelley is there, and on the middle in the orange strip is Matt Hines from the North York Moors Athletics Club. There he is. Aguilar, Javier Guerra of Spain in there as well. And just looking across, there's Bowles, Scotty Bowles of the United States in the all black towards the back of that group. And also Hanrahan, Mark Hanrahan of Ireland, from Cork, in the red with his shirt out towards the back of that field. But Korir, well, he first competed in 2008 at the age of 15 in the Commonwealth Youth Games. He was third in the 5,000. He's a former gold and silver medalist in the African Championships as a teenager. He won the Antrim International Cross Country. As I said, that the two leaders at the moment battled up for first and second in that race. But this is the most significant, and I think, well, just looking behind, the pictures obviously are often deceptive, but I have to say, I think they are closing a little bit. 17:10 gone on the clock, as you can see, but I think they are closing. The gap's certainly not got any bigger than when we last saw her. So Lewandowska, I just wonder, the obelisk there. Oh, and you can see now, look at that, they are closing. That shot gives you a better idea, and they are definitely closing. Clitheroe and Britton look behind those, and Martin tagged onto the back of those two. Big field still in the men, but one would expect that in this early stage with 3 kilometres gone, 7 to go. Vernon, fine cross-country runner, hardened to the country, has transferred some of that to the track, but there are the list of the leading group. We haven't mentioned Mefta, and that's Abdelatif Mefta of France. He didn't finish the London Marathon, incidentally. He was in that race, but he represented France in the World Cross Country Championships, finished in 40th place, broke the French record in the half marathon in Leevale in September in 2010. He's been around a while, but this race is still to emerge. The Phoenix Monument, and that monument really overseeing a big group, a leading group, and it is a solid one too. I see Johnny Mellor is also there of Great Britain, the yellow top on the left, just to mention him. Mefta, you can see the slightly diminutive figure in the middle of that field, along with Javier Guerra, a marathon man. His 2:12 is best, needs to improve that if he's going to make any impact at all on marathon running. Well, look at the gap now, and Britton is now beginning to close down. She's gone ahead of Clitheroe, and Martin's behind her, and this is a gap that is closing now. Has Iwona Lewandowska of Poland gone off too soon? Well, the answer will be with us very shortly, because she is being caught. Duarte in the yellow, Aguilar in the blue. Duarte, the French woman, Aguilar, the Spaniard, and those two working together. And it's Britton who's got the more difficult task of closing down on these two. These two have worked well together. They are experienced. Here comes Fionnuala Britton. Britton, of course, multi-winner of the European Cross Country Championship. But this race, well, Clitheroe and Martin following through. But this race still to emerge, lots still to happen. Well, they all look pretty easy. One or two looks from side to side. Hines looking across. He's got a best of 29.23 over 10K, so it's not particularly quick as they go through 4K at the moment. Korir looks very, very comfortable. So does Vernon too. Looks very easy. That stocky figure, that powerhouse of, well, you just think he's probably more akin to the shot. He's got terrific musculature, which most of the cross-country runners and the track runners don't have, but still very effective on the road, on the country, and on the track. Korir still leading, though. He looks good, doesn't he? Looks relaxed, this youngster. He's only a youngster. Let's repeat that. He's only 20. I mean, he's done remarkably well. 62.41 half marathon, his personal best set, I think it was this year, actually, in March. So he's coming on. Actually, his track form fell away in May last year. More about that in a moment as we watch the two chasers closing down. Britton, I think, has probably left this too late. She was so far off the pace, and probably is encouraged by the fact that the two chasers, Duarte and Aguilar, are catching Lewandowska. Now, Lewandowska, what, this is 7 or 8 meters behind her now, and they must be thinking, well, I've got a chance here, each one of them. Although, having said that, Aguilar is really rocking and rolling. Look at that. She's hurting a bit in the all-blue strip. And Britton, multi-European cross-country winner, head down, has been on her own. That's the most difficult place to be. No one to work off, as the other two have. And she can close down then, well, we'll see. And it looks as though Martin has come past Clitheroe now, and these two will work together, I would think. But it's been a tough race for them. But Helen Clitheroe, European indoor champion, remember, in 2011, 7th in the World Indoor Championships in 2012. She's done her part in the track, but look at Britain, really is up her leg speed to try and catch down on Aguilar and Duarte. But what will Lewandowska do if they do close up? And it's all of a sudden beginning just to push on in the men's race as well. Vernon, deep in concentration, he's there. Mellor, look, has moved up into the leading group, and his best time actually is not as good as some of these guys that he's running with at the moment. That's Johnny Mellor representing Great Britain. However, he represented Great Britain in the 3,000 in the World Indoor Champions. I mentioned Vernon in SPAR as well. Ah, look at this. So the two World Indoor 3,000 meter men chasing a young Kenyan who has all of a sudden started to say, this is my race and I'm going to run it the way I want to run it, and I'm going to win this race. It's down to you. Now they've come back at him. Look at that. Now that's good. That's experience over youth. But I began to say that Korir's track performances fell away in May last year. He was last in a 3,000 meters in Doha in 2013, and he really never improves from that. So he's much better on the roads, much better on the country as the masses go through 3. Oh, look at this. All of a sudden, Lewandowska's opened up a lead again. Well, she's very, very determined. We thought that Aguilar and Duarte were going to close her down, and all of a sudden, a little look at the watch, going well. Coming off that good win in America, she's or that good personal best in America, and all of a sudden she starts to go away again. Well, approaching the last kilometre now, and that's the time to start to put the pedal down, and she's doing just that. And Korir and Vernon together, look how they've spread out now. And Mefta it is who's come into third place, ahead of the Australian Michael Shelley. So those four now, and it's down to the pace of Korir. Korir has really started to open them out, hasn't he? There's Mefta. He didn't finish the London Marathon. He's got a PB in 10K at 28:27, so this is the sort of arena he would be in. Whereas Shelley has got a best of 29:44. I just wonder whether he can better that here. But all of a sudden, the youngster starting to move away. 18:48 gone in this race, and Korir looks so easy, so light, feather light, as he drifts along the pathways through this Phoenix Park. Not affected by the wind or the temperature, but Andy Vernon's not given up on it, has he? He's in second place, but he has to hold on now, or the Kenyan's going to get away. A little look behind. Have I done enough? Have I broken him? And all of a sudden, that gap is beginning to widen slowly but surely. Korir looked deep. Look at the way he's looking down, deep in concentration. Then a little glance, just to see what happened. Because remember, on the previous time he tried to move away, Vernon came alongside. He's just wondering whether he's done enough this time. I wonder. And they're now starting to break away. Mefta's there, Shelley's there, and the rest have been left behind just for the moment. Well, Hines and Mellor then have been dropped off the back of the leading group, and the race is down to 4. Here's your leader, though. 20 minutes gone. Looks comfortable, doesn't he? Very, very comfortable. Well, it's the first time that a reigning world cross-country champion has competed at the event in its 36-year history, so a little bit for the statisticians there. And the lead is critical, isn't it? Andy Vernon desperately trying to hang on to this young man, but it may well be difficult. European cross-country bronze medalist last year, Andy Vernon. A little look at the watch there as he desperately tries to hang on to Korir. Korir, another little glance behind, and I think he will see that he's done an awful lot. Oh, that gap is difficult to know, but Lewandowska still got the lead. A little bit of an anxious look on that face. Look at the clock as she's coming down towards the finish. They are chasing her down, there's no question about that. And Britain has really made a lot of headway on second and third, but this is a Polish athlete, and this is a big shock win if she can hold on here, and surely she'll hold on now, so close to the finish. She broke away once, she let them, well, they came back to her a second time, and then she's gone away again when it looked as though they might close her down and overtake her. She wasn't going to be beaten today, and this is a big shot for the win here in this Phoenix Park in Dublin. As she comes through, she's going to take it. Look at that. Iwona Lewandowska of Poland, 33:39 the time on the clock. That's unofficial, we'll have to confirm that. And that's a very, very good win. Duarte of France coming through into second place ahead of Aguilar, and Britain coming through to take fourth place. And I would think it's either Helen Clitheroe or Diana Martin will follow them home. It's Helen Clitheroe into fifth place, and she'll be ahead of Diana Martin of Spain, who will, I would think, finish in sixth. She's well back now, though, but Clitheroe finishing now in fifth place. Good race in the end, and a big surprise win for Iwona Lewandowska of Poland. But look at this now, no bigger gap, and you have to say a lot of credit here to Vernon, to Andy Vernon. He's worked very, very well to stay in contact, and really Korir can't get away from him. But I'm not sure he's got the power or the pace to come back. He may have, you never know. I must say that when you looked at the cross-country form of Korir last year, and then to see how he failed on the track, it's extraordinary, isn't it, that that can happen. Shelley coming through, and followed by Mefta, those three. And here's Hines, as we said, that's Matthew Hines. He's got a best of 29:23 coming in to this race. So he's really working very, very hard. He's a Briton from the North York Moors Athletics Club, and the rest following home. So Korir and Vernon, is he closing a little from that shot? Very difficult to see the obelisk in the background once again as the Irish Championship competitors come over that incline. And here comes Korir. Now Korir has put the pedal down, hasn't gone away any further from Vernon, and Vernon, well, he looks to me to be believing in this. Can he come through? Can he win? Can he come back again? Shelley's looking good too. Shelley's really motoring, and Mefta as well. They're all on their own though. Look at the grimace on Shelley's face, but look at the ease, the rhythmic running of this young man. Surely the future of Kenyan long-distance running, already a World Championship holder at the age of 20. I say, where on earth do they come from? The rest, long, long way to go. Individual charities being competed for, but also there's an Irish Championship, just to remind you of that, and the elite races, of course. But these are the first two. Andy Vernon chasing Japheth Korir of Kenya, and with Mike Shelley of Australia in third place. But I don't think Korir's going to be... Oh, look at that. Now he has moved away significantly. That shot is not quite telling us the story, I must say. Korir really starting to move now. Another little glance. He's never been sure about Andy Vernon. They've told him that Vernon's a good athlete, and he's not letting him go. He has a little glance over his shoulder. Here we come then through towards the finish now for Japheth Korir. He's going to win this race. He's going to win it. But I have to say, it's a good run by Andy Vernon in second place. Korir wins the race then as he comes through the tape now to take the race. And what's the clock saying? The clock's saying 29:12 or thereabouts. And Andy Vernon, a very good run in second place. Good stuff from him. He really gave it everything. And Mike Shelley of Australia coming through in to take third place. He'll be ahead of Abdelatif Mefta of France. And that's a good run by Shelley, the Australian, 29:33. But Japheth Korir ran it how he wanted, really. Oh, there's the result. Japheth Korir, 29:12. Andy Vernon, 29:19. Michael Shelley, 29:33. Good race, though.
Was it difficult out there? A little bit of wind, but no rain in Ireland, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it was very rainy in the morning, but when we were having a race, it was very nice race, and it was very good.
Let's update you on the women's result. Iwona Lewandowska of Poland, 33:39, ahead of Sophie Duarte, Allesandra Aguilar of Spain, that's France and Spain, respectively.
I think I am in good shape, but I didn't think that I won this race. Yeah. Next week I will run in Orlen or Warsaw Marathon, so my preparing go in a right direction.
Well, earlier in the day saw the second running of the Great Ireland Mile. A largely Irish field and a sprinkling of British athletes were intent on running sub 4 minutes. But the weather, well, proved difficult, and Ireland's Paul Robinson hit the front inside the last 200 and crossed the line in 4:02. Well, that's it from Dublin, a surprise winner in the women's race, whereas in the men's race it went pretty well to the script. Next up, the 2 events in Manchester in May, but keep up to date on our website. For now, from Ireland, from the Phoenix Park, goodbye.